Today we're going to create this Superduo herringbone bracelet, and I'm actually using mini Superduos. So they're 2mm by 4mm. They're not the 2.5 by 5mm that you typically get. So I'm going to, because of that, I'm going to use 15 0 seed beads with that. But if you want to use a 2.5 by 5, use 11 0 seed beads to go with that. That'll work fine. So I'm going to pick up a stop bead. And the first thing I want to do is pick up a seed bead, a Superduo, another 15 0, and three more 15 0 seed beads. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to bring them down. And we're going to go through the other side of the Superduo. So it should look like this. And the stop bead's a little bit in the way, but this is what you should have. So now we're going to pick up a seed bead, a 15 0, and a Superduo. And we're going to go through the one lone bead here on the top. So we want to go through this top, and we use the same color for these two. And it should look like this. Now we pick up 2 seed beads, and we come through the other side of the Superduo. And this is really going to be just 2 stitches. We're going to pick up a seed bead, 1, and a Superduo of our other color now, because we do 2 colors and switch. And we're going to go through the single bead that's right here. I'm going to go through this single bead. And now we're going to come back through, and we're going to pick up 2 seed beads and go through the other side of the Superduo. So the pattern is basically put on a Superduo, which is going to be our seed bead and Superduo. Put on a Superduo combo, go through the single bead, and then to come back around, put on 2 seed beads to come back down. And now it's time to switch colors, and we pick up a seed bead and a Superduo, and we go through the single bead. So every time we pick up a seed bead and a Superduo, go through the single bead, we have to follow up with 2 seed beads and go back through the Superduo, the top of the Superduo, and we're on the side that we need to be to put the next Superduo on. So the next Superduo is the seed bead and a Superduo through the single, and then 2 seed beads, 2, down through here, down through the end of the Superduo. So, starting that pattern again, it would be 1 seed bead, 1 Superduo, through the single, 2 seed beads, through the Superduo, 1 seed bead, 1 Superduo, through the single bead, 2 seed beads, down through the top of the Superduo. Picking up another Superduo, seed bead, Superduo, through the bead, 2 beads, same pattern over and over. So when you've completed the length that you need, and you'll need about, if you're making a 7.5, I had 3/4 of an inch for the clasp. So if you're making a 7.5 inch bracelet, you'll need 6 3/4. You'll have to measure accordingly, and then the additional loops on the end, add another 1/2 inch, so that this would work for someone between 7 1/4 and, let's say, 7 3/4 inch wrist, give or take. So when you're finished doing your length, I'll come back and show you how to finish the ends. Now we're ready to finish off the ends. I wanted my bracelet to be somewhat adjustable, so I've put together 4 jump rings, and this will add about a 1/2 inch of additional length. And I want to start with the smallest or the closest ring for a length of about a 7 1/4, because that can be worn by someone that has a 7-inch wrist or 7.5. So we'll run anywhere from 7 1/4 to 7 3/4. I measured my clasp and my ring. I've already attached the ring, and that's about 3/4. So what we're going to do now is we'll pick up the one end, and we're going to add 3 of the seed beads, and we'll pick up the clasp. We'll do the clasp on this side, and we'll go back, we'll go through the seed bead, and we're also going to go through the Superduo behind it. So it should come in like this. And we're going to come back round to these seed beads. We're following the path that we had used when we made this side. I went through 2, now I have to go through the 3rd one because I couldn't make the angle. So I'm going to go through the 3rd seed bead, and also through, I want to go through the Superduo as well. So I've turned this a little bit, and so that you can see it. Be careful your thread doesn't get caught. And now we're going to go through the Superduo, and I want to come back around so that we go through this again. So I want to go through this at least twice, and I'm going to see if I can get through it 3 times before I tie off the thread. So we'll come round again and follow the bead path. I'll go two at a time, 2, and then we'll come up and do the seed bead, and we'll go through the Superduo and another seed bead and pull tight. And then we want to come, I'm going to flip this down so that we can come around the seed beads again. Try to get that out of the way. Through the seed beads and through the Superduo. So that's twice around, and I'm going to go for 1 more, and I'll pull that tight because it was a little bit of thread showing. So we'll come round through the next 2. And then through the Superduo. I'm pulling this very tight, so it's kind of hard to get into those, into those holes. Through the Superduo. We also want to go through the 15-0 seed beads, the round beads. So we'll come back and go through those. We have to go through 1 more. Now we can get through this Superduo and a seed bead, and then we come around. We're going to pick up the other seed beads on this side through the Superduo again, but this time we're not going to come back round. This, we've done 3, gone around 3 times to strengthen the end. So we just need to go through, and we're going to start tying off. All right, so I'm going to go through this one, and then instead of going through the Superduo, just go through the seed bead, because we're not going to go in that direction. We're going to actually come, excuse me. All right, so we're coming out of this bead. So we're coming out of this last seed bead here, and we want to go down and around. If you can't do it in two, if you can't go through this way, do it in 2 steps. Go down and come back up. But I wanted you to be able to see, we want to go underneath that one thread, underneath these threads, make a loop, and then just make a knot. And then we'll come down through the purple, and we're going to repeat that. We'll go down and over. Want to get under that thread between the seed bead and the Superduo, and we're going to do another knot. All right, now I just want to go through and hide these. I want a little bit more of a tail so I can go through, and when I clip it, it'll go back inside the beads. So I'm going to come through these 3, and then I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to clip, go through the Superduo, and I'm going to clip the thread. Okay, so we've got the one end done, and now we're going to turn around. And I think I may have, I'm going to use a smaller needle because I think I may have enough thread here to actually do this without having to bring this thread, the black thread, a new piece of black thread through. So let's thread this needle. And we want to do the same thing that we did on the other side. So we're going to take 3 beads, and then we'll pick up our links, and we'll go through the first one, see how that looks. Well, that'll look fine. And then we're going to go around these again. And we're following the thread path, so we want to come down, we want to go through the blue bead and up. And we'll go around again to reinforce it. And this will be the third and last time. So we'll come down and we'll go through the single bead. back around. And this time we're going to go down because we're not going to go around another time. That was the end. So at this point, we're going to go through that, and we'll come down to the green. And I'm just following the path of the threads right now. So I want to get around to the end of these three. I'm going to do a little knot. Well, actually, I'm going to go through. I don't like doing knots on the end. So I'm going to go through the Superduo. And we'll come around and put our little knot here. I'm going to do one more loop. And now I just have to go through a couple of beads so I can cut this. That's good enough. So this is our final bracelet. We'll get rid of our extra beads and our final bracelet. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like and subscribe.